Hello, Just Jonkins and myself, Technically Lou, here today to talk to you about The Medium, a horror... What?
I didn't know what one we were doing, so I was waiting for you to say.
We're doing The Medium!
I was like, come on, say it, Medium, we're okay.
I've spent my whole life looking beyond the edges of our reality. Even as a child, I saw things that would break a grown man.
We know what we're doing.
We're in sync. We're professionals. We organise this well ahead of time. Okay, so The Medium is a game that released very recently. You've probably seen it on the Xbox Game Pass. It's like a survival horror adventure thing. It's like the screen splits in half to show you two different dimensions as you traverse the world. And I'm yet to play it. I've got it installed and I'm just waiting to play it.
I don't do horror, so...
Oh, come on. And Resident Evil. They're so good. Resident Evil 7 was so good.
I never played 7. I saw someone recently did a mod for it.
I'm going to stop the video now.
give the old, like they did the fixed camera. So I did a mod for Resident Evil 7 with the fixed camera. It's cool. Yeah, it's good.
That looked cool.
Yeah.
Tangents aside, The Medium. So the news has emerged that The Medium is already profitable. But, and I mean big but, I think this is slightly misleading. Because now the Medium came out on only next gen, so only Xbox Series S and X. Now, if you haven't seen news recently as well, how many have they sold? 3 million, something like that, 3.5 million. So, I imagine when they develop a game, they're hoping to sell obviously a lot of copies, but I don't know if 3.5 million is a lot of copies. That is a lot of copies, don't get me wrong, but I'm assuming not everyone that has one bought that game. It came
out on PC as well, did it not?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Yes. PC as well. Good point. But considering it's only on PC, not Xbox One, and only Series X series, the Xbox series, not the Xbox Ones, but the Xbox Series. Microsoft, please. That's quite impressive. What interests me, however, though, is how much of that profit is because Microsoft paid for it to be on the Game Pass.
You got to wonder because
they do that, right?
Yeah. You also, I don't know the intricacies of the Game Pass, but do they just pay like a flat rate, or is it like
so it's different? So I was about to say, does every game, every publisher, they offer a different amount basically to suit the game's needs and how they expect it to do and how well it will work on Game Pass for them. So it's not like a set figure. It's they negotiate with each person.
Because it could be very much like if it's a very popular game going on Game Pass, you expect it to be downloaded a lot more. So would it be just a flat rate or not, or would it like depend on, or do they do it by X amount of downloads kind of thing? You know, you never know. They could be like if it's downloaded X amount of times, it gets pushed into another bracket.
I assume they have some stats to see. Microsoft must have some analytics where they say, okay, at the end of the month, people resubscribed and they're currently playing this game, so they can kind of attribute this game being what made people resubscribe and such. So I assume that's kind of how they base it, but I wonder how Microsoft are going to make any money when they're throwing so much money away to buy, not throwing it away, but throwing money at everything at the moment. They're just spending. I just wonder at what point do they stop making money back, because Nick's a Shroud Ninja.
I want to see some movement. I'm not seeing enough movement. Oh my god.
The series consoles obviously been made at a loss, like the PlayStation is. They threw loads of money at Bethesda.
But they're selling a lot less, are they not?
They're selling only 3.5 million consoles at the moment because that's all they manufactured.
I did notice. I noticed on the grapevines as well. I think they're not expected to get a continuous supply of Xboxes until June this year either.
So manufacturing's tough. They're not selling many consoles at the moment. Well, I mean, 3.5 million sounds like a lot, but I think compared to what they would have wanted to sell, it's nowhere near obviously meeting the demand. So obviously there's a lot of sales out there they can't quite tap into just yet. But
especially with the recent controversy Microsoft had as well with their live service, or live games, live gold, whatever it's called now. They tried doubling the price, and then was like, "Yeah, we made a mistake. Sorry."
Yeah. Whoops. Sorry. But the medium, so that's from developers that made, you might remember their games, Blair Witch, Layers of Fear. They did those, so they've got a good sort of track record. So yeah, they've got a good track record for horror games, and this one's obviously doing very well as well. So this does make you wonder, obviously, will more studios find the Game Pass more attractive now? Will more studios be more open to being brought into the inclusivity of Xbox, or exclusivity rather, sorry, of just staying on Xbox platform? Because I think a lot of people probably worried before with Xbox One, if we're exclusive to Xbox, how well can we really do compared to, the PlayStation 4 was outselling it by like 10 to 1 or something, so there's a lot of potential sales they're missing out on there, whereas this next gen, it's a bit hard to call at the moment. PlayStation so far I think is selling about 2 to 1 for Xbox, but that's manufacturing issues, so there's no real way of knowing properly how it's going to go, but I suppose this might influence more studios to go, do you know what? It sounds like a good safety net, because obviously the biggest fear for studios is to develop a game, all that cost of development just to go nowhere. And Xbox obviously take away a lot of that concern with their Game Pass and contract and paying basically for the development, essentially, in a lot of cases. So yeah, the medium on Game Pass. Probably a good time for it. I think if it released at the same time as Resident Evil, it might have struggled somewhat more. So that's obviously
Agreed.
A big hit, and everyone's talking about Lady Dimitrescu. I think that's how you say her name at the moment.
This is, I think, going to whet people's appetite for Resident Evil even more. I think this will help Resident Evil, because people will get into this and be like, "Oh, horror,"
like
and then they'll get into the kind of, exactly. And
because I think actually horror games aren't actually that, like Resident Evil 7 isn't really, they're dark themes. They're not really scary. They don't really. They're kind of dark, and they're they don't really jump scare that much. It's like 1 or 2 jump scares here and there, but it's not like terrifying, So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the medium myself. Actually, we might even do a review maybe at some point. I'm going to try and play it if I can find time. But yeah, the medium doing very well apparently. It's what was it? It was I think we've actually missed the whole point of this video actually somehow of all these tangents. It's apparently profitable after I think 2 days. After about 3 days, they said the development costs and marketing costs of the game have already been covered. So after something like 3-4 days, the game is paid off, and now it's all profit. So that's good. That's very good for Xbox. Very good for the studio, and long may it continue. I suppose it's nice to see Xbox doing something right for a change of Game Pass. Honestly,
I mean, it's like it's yeah. I'm sure the developers love being profitable over the first few days. That's great. Just means it's up and up from the lifetime of the game then, with sales and everything like that.
I still wonder though if this could lead them into trouble, because this is where EA get into trouble, where they have a lot of costs to get these games produced, and although it's profitable for the studio, is it for Xbox? Because obviously EA have a bit of a history of shutting down studios, and Microsoft do as well with Lionhead, and there's many others they've shut down as well. Not so much recently, but
this is why I kind of lean more towards timed exclusive in my opinion, but that's just me.
But I do wonder how much of that profit is really Game Pass covering the development costs rather than just pure game sales.
Well, it even says that in the article. Isn't like makes profitability even more impressive is unclear how Game Pass factored into the sales figures have managed to turn a profit even before factoring this in, because you can't, like I said, we don't know if it's like a flat rate for a game. If they turn around and go, right, okay, we'll put your game on Game Pass if you give us X amount, or we'll pay X amount, or they'll it's unclear how the Game Pass pay works really with that. Or if it's based on downloads. Could be based on downloads, which would be the fairer way of doing it, I guess, in my opinion, but hey, who
knows? Bit of a mystery, but there we go. That's the story and our weird tangent takes on it. It's profitable after a few days. We don't really know if that's due to sales or due to Microsoft just throwing money at them. Either way, it's good for Xbox, good for the developers, and I'm looking forward to playing it. And I'm going to try and get Jenkins to play it, just so I can hear him scream like a girl.
Yeah, I'll get it on PC Game Pass, I guess.
You guess? Oh, you sound so belligerent. Like, oh, guess I'll get a free game. Well, not free. You're paying monthly, aren't you? But still.
Yeah.
So, the medium. What are your thoughts on the game? Have you played it? Are you enjoying it? And if not, are you thinking maybe would this game make you want to get the Game Pass to enjoy it? Who knows? Let us know in the comments below.
Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for further notifications of weird content that we do. I mean, normal content that we do.
Yes, otherwise you'll get stuck in the tangent realm like we did. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.